Hello, folks, and welcome to the show. I'm Dave. That guy down there is Scott. And today we are reviewing 1975's Bucktown, starring Fred Williamson as Duke. The Hammer. Pam Grier as Aretha.
Oh, yeah.
Thelmus, I want to make sure I get this name right. Thelmus Rasulullah as Roy. Tony King as TJ.
Hey, hold up a second.
Do what?
Go back to Roy. He looks so damn familiar. Is he in a lot of these movies at this time?
He's in a lot of these movies at the time, but you probably recognize him from Star Trek. He was in a couple of Star Trek, I think, Next Generation episodes.
Okay.
Which reminds me, I want to make a little fix here. We did a review of what the heck did we review? Talladega Nights.
Yes. Yeah,
and I said that the guy that was in that was in the Brady Bunch movie and in another movie, The Beastmaster. Those are two completely different guys, completely different actors. But they both were coming up through the ranks at the same time back in the 80s, 90s. And that's why I always get them confused.
There's always, because you look at Hollywood.
To me, they look so much.
And here's a rant.
Here's a rant.
There's character types. You always see several actors who look alike. It doesn't matter. So whatever time frame you're at, a lot of the people all look alike in every damn movie. It's crazy.
I just wanted to make that correction because I noticed it yesterday. I was like, the guy from the Brady Bunch thing, and he was on, I believe, the Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
I was like, I looked up his name. I'm like, what is that guy's name again? I looked it up. I'm like, oh, and then I'm looking at him like, wait a second. I looked up Beastmaster and I get the guy. I was like, two completely different actors. I'm like, man, they look a lot alike to me, even back then. So I just want to make that I did catch my own goof up. Sorry, it's what I do.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's go in here. Oh, Art Lund was the Chief Patterson. That's the guy who was in jail. Terry Turner was Steve. Then I'm not even going to bother going. Oh, Carl Weathers.
Don't forget Hambone.
All right. Directed by Arthur Marks. Writer was Robert T. Ellison. I know how I feel about this movie, and I got your text saying that you kind of liked they had a twist in it, and I saw see what you're talking about. But why don't you start us out? I did the introduction.
All right. Here we got another 70s blaxploitation movie. Main character has to come home and bury his brother only in a town who is overrun with a bunch of honkies, a bunch of white supremacist backwoods police officers, putting the screws on the black man and extorting. What's that?
The typical bad guy in these movies.
Typical bad guy in these movies. It usually changes. It could be mafia. It could be, as we see, this movie took a turn I wasn't expecting. All right. Anyway, let me just back up. We'll get to that bit.
Yeah.
This is your typical blaxploitation film. As I said, there's a setup. Somebody's being oppressed. The brother comes home. He's got to get everybody together. It's a take on the Seven Samurai every damn time because it's a formula that works. So
it works really well.
Yeah. So he calls up his old partners. They've run some scams or games and they've been in some shit together.
Yeah.
So they come and help him get rid of all the honkies and then see an opening and take over. And this is the twist that I didn't see coming. The movie turns about halfway through where our main character now has to go against his friends.
Spoilers, by the way. All spoilers from this point out.
It's from the 70s. If you haven't seen it, I hadn't, but I liked this movie. I liked it for that reason, that it surprised me. But I was fine if it would have ended right after he killed all the honkies.
Yeah.
But then I said, well, my God, I'm only halfway through this movie. What could possibly happen?
What, for me, the acting seemed to have gotten better and the story got better for me when the friend showed up with his crew.
Yes.
It was really slow. Everything just seemed really stilted. I don't know if they had another director in here. I don't know what happened, but up to that point, everything, even Pam Grier, who I think
felt like a rehearsal.
Yeah, I think Pam Grier is a goddess. I have nothing against Pam Grier, but I've
she's
seen
better than
her
this
in a lot of movies And she's not, she's not Shakespearean actress by any means, but she's usually much more solid than this. And up to that point, like you said, it felt like a rehearsal. Like
it felt like a rehearsal.
We're just going to film the rehearsal and keep going.
It's very
but
flat.
Right after the friends showed up, it started getting better.
The energy changed.
It's like almost like everything went up a notch. Like somebody came down and said, "Are you guys kidding me? You guys are actors. Fred, we know you're a football player, but for crying out loud, act."
Yeah. Well, let me speak on something on that. On times I've been on set or even in rehearsal or classes with other actors,
right.
The people you're acting with will elevate and change the scene, because if you see somebody really good, you start matching that, and having that kind of energy probably what changed when all those other actors came in with Carl Weathers, and I can't pronounce the guy's name, is Roy, who was really damn good. It probably caused a lot of the cast to step their game up, even subconsciously. So,
because that guy plays a good bad guy. I've seen him play a bad guy.
He does. He's so smooth. He was effortless. He's probably the best actor in the movie.
For me, I started getting disgruntled with this movie, and it had nothing to do. Honestly, it had nothing to do with the acting. It didn't have anything to do with I guess maybe a little bit to do with the writing, because of the characterization of Carl Weathers. I'm used to seeing Carl Weathers as a good guy.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing him be the guy who comes into town, kick some butt, take names, do the taking out of the trash. And to see Carl Weathers as a bad guy, that really put me off. I know it shouldn't have. I know that it shouldn't have, but it did. And it took me a while to go, okay, he's just acting. He's an actor. God bless Carl Weathers. But he played a good bad guy. And I think that was what was so odd for me. Because like I said, I grew up watching him. I don't ever remember him being in a bad guy movie. Maybe there's more blaxploitation or black cinema that's out there that I'm not familiar with, where he was a bad guy.
Right.
But I see Carl Weathers and I think Action Jackson. I that's just
and that
I
came
even
later.
Think of the Rocky stuff. I think of Action Jackson.
Yeah.
Just do.
Gone too soon. We lost a great actor in Carl. Yeah.
But what else? What's gonna the only thing that was way over the top when they decided to take out all the cops. I'm like, okay, all these cops did deserve.
Oh yeah,
because every one of them deserved exactly what they got. And I know that they walk through the scene like, well, we got to get rid of the radio room so they don't call the state troopers. We got to get rid of this. You got to do that. And I'm like sitting there watching this. Okay, you killed all the cops, and now this other guy takes over the city, and he's being the bad guy.
Which is messy in itself. That's a writing issue. Oh, the mayor's all of a sudden. So the mayor's the most corrupt mother there, Yeah.
He's I'm like, what? Do you just go whichever way the wind blows, dude?
Yes, obviously. Typical.
Which is also, speaking of what Pam Grier, this was a good point that they made to get in there for whatever reason. It felt a little wedged in, but it was a good point to make, where the guy's talking about like, what do I care what my friend's doing? And she's like, hey, this is a guy. This is a black guy taking advantage of black people, Yeah. And she's like, and she writes it down. She just lays it out. It doesn't matter what color you are or what religion or anything. She goes, when money's involved, you get corrupt. And this is what this guy's doing. And he's taking advantage of our people. And that's when Fred Williamson decides, okay, let me go talk to him and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And what's funny is this guy winds up getting a small army. I don't know if you realize what happened here. At one point, Fred Williamson only had 4 guys to deal with. Then he winds up having like a small army to deal with, at least 10 or 15 guys.
I don't know where they all came from.
And he winds up taking them all out. And I'm like, dude, you could have taken out those 4 guys all by yourself in like 2 minutes. And had all this other trouble.
And not had to go get a tank.
He did get that tank. That was pretty good. And he only used it for like 2 minutes. I was expecting a lot more out of that tank. And why is he pulling the Batman and putting the little boy in danger?
Don't know. The kid was a good character. The kid was, I think, the kid was definitely needed. He's the hot shot. He was a little pimp, man. He was already He was a hustler, man. And,
I ain't never seen a pimp on a motorcycle before.
Here's the thing. When it came to stereotypes,
yeah,
they ramped things up. At least for the white racist cops.
Right.
Always, almost to a cartoonish level. I would say
downright
really
dislike
them.
Yeah.
And they made it where you did.
Guys. I didn't like any of them.
No,
nothing good about any of them.
No, and you instantly hated him, and that was really easy to do. And when it came to his crew, his old crew, they were harder to hate at first. And then you saw, it's like, man, you manipulative suckers, man. They were bad. Bad news.
That was a good bit of writing there, because then you saw sometimes the cure is worse than the disease.
This movie's got a good story.
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened there. It's like in the movie In the Heat of the Night, which we need to review one day.
Absolutely.
That's a very good story. It's a lot deeper than anyone ever reviews. So I would like for us to watch that one day this year.
Sounds good.
But it's a good movie. And the same kind of thing happens. It's like, it's both sides are just as bad as the other. And you can't take sides at this point. Well, you are rooting for Fred Williamson at the end of the movie.
You always are throughout the whole thing. Because the bad guy is always clearly defined here. So it's really not ambiguous.
Starting with being white.
And then it turned into the enemy he knew.
Exactly.
Money corrupted all of them. And that's the overall message. And that's accurate.
Guy came in checking out Pam Grier like he was going to rape her, and
right off the bat, man, I got pervy vibes from him instantly.
And I'm sitting there looking at that, thinking, Fred, I
can't believe Fred didn't say nothing.
Would have never put up with that.
No,
he would.
Why he didn't jump up?
He would have offed that guy in that room at that moment. That character, the way they defined him, he would have killed that guy long before anything else happened.
That was a moment.
Interesting to show that's where the problems really started with him and his friend.
Yeah.
That's how I may have written it, but they didn't go that way.
No, and that was a problem because they built Fred up to this certain type of character who wouldn't have taken that. And I'm thinking, you're just going to sit there? You're going to let them talk to Pam that way?
Yeah.
Oh, exactly. Hell no. If that had been Ray Liotta, he'd have pistol whipped his ass.
Oh, yeah. He would have pulled out a pistol, wham, 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 beat the hell out of him.
Or Joe Pesci or any of those gangsters.
That to me was a bad moment for his character.
Showed a weakness.
Because I was sitting there looking at it going, what? That's not the character you just portrayed up to that point.
That's correct.
So to me, that was a bad bit of writing. But other than that, if you folks, are you good?
I'm good. Go ahead and tell us. What do you think? Tell them what they want.
I love black cinema. I love blaxploitation movies. This movie, for all its foibles, is a good movie. It's fun to watch. The first, 20 minutes or so? Oh, by the way, nipple shot at 18 minutes, Pam Grier's breast at 36. Whenever we do these movies, I always have to I stop it and check the time. It's just like, how long is it going to be before a naked woman shows up? It's just
in a 70s blaxploitation film. It's usually not long.
I honestly was surprised that it didn't show up sooner. But
like in the intro,
that's something I do. The first few minutes, first 15, I guess 20 minutes or so of it, kind of slow. When his crew shows up, his helpers,
it starts rolling.
Then it starts getting really interesting. Then the cross and double crosses happen. Then the guys have to be taken out by Fred Williamson, and he's all alone, basically. He doesn't really have anybody to help him. So that's really, I enjoy the heck out of this movie. I really did. I wound up really liking it. Carl Weathers is a bad guy, though. Can't forgive that. That was bad, right? But I honestly thought when you texted me about Carl Weathers, I'd seen the name. But when you texted me, I thought, oh, is this going to be his brother? Is his brother not really dead? Like, what's going on here? Is this another guy that's going to come in? And then you saw him. Because I'm like so used to him being a good guy. And then when he showed up, I was like, oh, crap, he's a bad guy. I did like, however, that one guy, when they pull into the train station. The one guy's watching all these black guys have to be 6-7 foot tall. Their shoulders are super wide. These guys are all really big guys. And you got some little white dumpy sheriff deputy sitting on a bench drinking a beer or something. And that one guy walks up and puts his foot up on the bench and crushes the
guy's hat. Yes.
Hat. That to me was a funny scene because I'm like, that deputy deserves it. I mean, there's everything that happens to these guys you don't feel bad about because everybody who gets it deserves it.
Yes.
Really.
Yeah. Except the poor drunk guy at the beginning. I can't think of his name. That poor son of a bitch.
Deserve that. But they
deserve any of that.
They have to build a sympathy.
Yep.
And they have to build the fact that you really want to hate these other guys.
And they
brought in for you to like. Because you initially liked these guys.
Yeah.
And then you have to have a reason more than them just taking over the town. You have to have more of a reason to dislike them. That's why that's done. And I see it. And that's why Pam Grier is, the guy tries to take advantage of her. But man, it's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I really did, especially that final fight. That final fight goes on forever. But
yes, it does.
And I'm sitting there watching it like, okay, this actually looks like it could be a real fight. Like,
yeah, I know, right?
In most movies, the fight, everything's super choreographed. And this just looked like two guys that you could see two drunk guys actually fighting.
I had a moment that it reminded me of They Live with David Keith and Roddy Piper in the alley.
Yeah, exactly.
Going at it.
Yeah, just beating the heck out of each other. Yeah, that's good. That's a good hammer to tongs, man. Yeah, that was good.
I enjoyed this movie. The thing I liked about it was it built up one movie and turned into a lot more. With the turn, it was all about betrayal and how no matter how hard you try, some point in times you have to take a stand. And that's what Fred Williamson's character found. All he wanted to do was just bury his brother and go home.
Yeah. He had to do it twice, and he didn't want to. He didn't want to do it either time. Like you said, he wanted to go there, sell the property, do whatever,
get the hell out. Yeah, and be done.
No business being there. And then Pam Grier showed her big, and
that was assets. It. He had to stay.
And
that's the law.
He had to stay. What's he going to do? You got to stay then.
Exactly. But yeah, good film. I enjoyed it. It's on. I watched it on Tubi. So Tubi's got a ton of blaxploitation films. So definitely check it out.
I think I watched mine on.
It's on Prime too, I believe.
I think I watched it on Prime, but blaxploitation on Tubi. There's another movie that I want to watch, but we're going to wait a little while. I'd like to watch Cotton Comes to Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Looks really funny. I want to say maybe I saw it once when I was a kid, when I was really young. I really can't wait to watch it again because it looks really good, and it just looks so comedic and drama, like just everything that I enjoy in a movie.
Well, it sounds like it's definitely in our queue. So, folks, if you like our show, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, tell a friend, tell somebody. Hey, just drop us a line. Let us know how you found us. That's what I'd like to know.
A little bit of interaction might help the channel a lot.
Yes. So please hit the subscribe.
I'm not saying that YouTube's hiding our channel, but
they're hiding our channel. So anyway, we'll catch you next week if you can find us. Later.
If you can find us, we'll be here.